The wasteland stretches endless, a graveyard of lost cities and forgotten wars. The air is thick with dust, the sky a burning shade of orange. The traveler moves forward slow and deliberate. His boots press into soil long stripped of life, crunching brittle remnants of what once grew. The wind shifts, carrying something distant, an echo, a scent, a warning. Behind him, the land is scarred. The active zone is gone from sight, but its weight lingers. He does not look back. No one ever does. The whispers of those who tried are scattered across the dust, hollowed bones half sunk into the earth, fingers frozen mid-reach. He walks. The air hums, though whether from distant engines, shifting tectonics, or something far worse he does not know. A husk of a town stands skeletal in the distance. Collapsed roofs. Twisted metal spires. He steps through its remains, past doors left ajar, past crumbled brick faces with their faded warnings still clinging to the stone. If there was once a sickness, it has long since starved. If there were once those who fought over scraps, their weapons are buried with them. A rusted bicycle leans against a shattered storefront. A child's toy, its plastic body half melted, stares out from the rubble. Eyes wide, watching. The traveler moves on. A sound. A snap of movement in the debris. He freezes, hand hovering over the hilt of his blade. Silence follows, stretching thin. Then, a gust of wind stirring the loose ash. Maybe just that. Maybe not. He does not wait to find out. As he adjusts the strap of his pack, his fingers brush over the faded red cross stitched into its fabric. The bag is old, worn, but its meaning lingers. An emblem of a world that once sought to heal, now just another relic in the dust. The sun dips, the sky darkening. The air cools, but the scent of fire reaches him before the sight. Wood smoke, faint but clear. Not the acrid burn of wreckage, but something controlled. Something human. His pace slows as he follows it. Over a ridge, past the skeletons of streetlights long fallen, until he sees it. A shelter built from scavenged pieces, metal and stone, patched where time has clawed at its edges. A figure moves within, shadow against firelight. He steps forward and the figure turns. A woman, alone. Her face worn but unreadable, eyes him in silence. She does not reach for a weapon. Instead, she stirs a pot over the fire, its aroma drifting through the cold air. A meager meal, barely enough for one, and yet she watches him, does not send him away. "You shouldn't be here," she says at last. Her voice is quiet, edged with something unreadable. "I won't stay long. Just passing through." The fire crackles between them. The woman exhales, then gestures to the empty space beside her. He hesitates, then lowers himself to the ground. She ladles out the food. Too much, more than should be possible from what little she has. He notices she shouldn't have enough to spare, but she does. The firelight glints off something small in her hand, something old world, something impossible. He eats. The meal is rich, filling, a warmth he hasn't felt in too long. His body, starved of more than just food, drinks it in. "Where did you get it?" he asks, voice quiet, careful. He does not look at the object directly. She shakes her head. "Does it matter?" He does not press. Outside, the wasteland howls, empty and endless. But inside, for tonight, there is food. There is warmth, and there is enough. The days stretch on. He does not leave. Each morning, the sun rises over the broken world, and each morning, she prepares a meal, a stew, a thick porridge, a roast over the fire. There are no stores of food, no hidden caches, and yet the meals keep coming. He watches her, watches the way her fingers graze over that thing she never speaks of, the old world fragment hidden among her possessions. He never asks. One evening, the wind shifts, bringing with it the scent of the active zone. He knows the feeling, an unseen weight pressing in, the pull of something just beyond sight. He grips his pack, fingers brushing over the red cross again, tracing the worn threads out of habit. She watches him. Then, finally, she speaks. "I need to show you something." She leads him past the fire, past the worn sleeping mat where she rests at night, to the back of the shelter where a curtain of scavenged fabric conceals a smaller space. She pulls it aside. A child lies on a pile of blankets, small, motionless, his skin pale beneath the dim light. She exhales, barely above a whisper. "Can you help?"